Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you are listening to the most electrifying podcast in all of internet radio today. You are listening to the Sports Wire. Today is Monday, November 18th, 2019, and I am here with you again. My name is Vinny Apicella. I want to thank you for listening, subscribing, and downloading wherever you may listen to it, whether it's Anchor.fm or Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you may listen to it. Thank you for the support. Thank you for downloading it. So I finally got to catch up on SmackDown and finally finished it, and it was a good show. It really was. And you know what? I wanted to talk about the segment that everybody's buzzing about. People are talking about it, saying it was corny and campy and all this other stuff. That the opening segment, King Corbin, Baron Corbin, okay, he was, he and Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler were in the ring, and they were talking about Survivor Series coming up, and that the Survivor Series SmackDown men's team is comprised of King Corbin, Roman Reigns, Chad Gable, Mustafa Ali, and Braun Strowman. And Roode and Ziggler felt that they should be on the team instead of Ali and Gable. Well, the King Corbin, said that he was also upset that Roman Reigns was on the team, and that he basically said that Ziggler and Roode would face Ali and Gable in a match to see who would take over those two spots. If Roode and Ziggler won, they would take over the spots. If Ali and Gable won, they would keep their spots on the team. Well, anyways, it comes to a point where Corbin says, "Let me bring out Roman Reigns right now because he should have a say-so in it," or something to that effect. Roman Reigns' music hit, and the Chihuahua barks that were part of the skit last week were playing during Roman Reigns' song. And then out comes looked like a sports team mascot dog, gray dog with a Roman Reigns shirt on, and people are upset about it. People are upset about it because they're like, this kind of garbage shouldn't go over, and it's a horrible gimmick, and blah 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 blah. This that the other. It's a horrible skit, and people turned off whatever, complaining about it. Number one, people are complaining about everything about wrestling nowadays. You can watch any wrestling show and somebody will complain about something in it, which I think is ridiculous. And I'm guilty too. I'll complain about stuff on AEW or what have you. Especially, Orange Cassidy and Marco Stunt and whatever. Don't get me wrong, okay? I'm not innocent. I'm guilty too. But I've actually realized that I'm at a point in my life now where I am going to just watch wrestling and be entertained. I have too much stress and too much stuff in my life going on right now that there's no reason to argue about stuff like this. Number one, I can't change it. Number two, I use wrestling and any TV show as an escape. To escape the stresses of life. Why should I get more stressed arguing about it? You know what I mean? So that's that. Now, secondly, this segment was classic heel heat. You remember back the night after the Montreal Screwjob, okay, where DX was in the ring. That time it was Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Okay, well even before that, let's back up a little bit. Was it before? No, it was after. Actually, it was after. But, okay, so DX was in the ring, and lo and behold, this is the night after the Montreal Screwjob, they invite Bret Hart out to the ring. Now, remember, Bret Hart was technically still under contract until the end of the month. Survivor Series was going to be his last match and what have you. So they say they're going to bring out Bret Hart. And out comes a midget dressed as Bret Hart. A little person, whatever you want to call it. I don't know why it's so PC you can't say midget. But Hornswoggle actually prefers to be called a midget instead of a little person. He's a midget wrestler. Anyways, they bring out a midget dressed as Bret Hart. And that was heat. Because they were in Canada, and DX already was, were the villains, the anti-establishment, especially in Canada, because Bret Hart is, a national hero up there. So they bring out this midget dressed as Bret Hart, and the place, they're booing DX out of the building. Okay, and then fast forward a week or two, and you've got Rick Rude, who actually was on a taped Raw and then was live on Nitro the same night, okay, which was crazy because he was on Nitro at the beginning of the program at 8 o'clock, completely shaved other than a mustache, and then he's on Raw later on a taped episode with a full beard. So he was the only person to be on both shows on the same night. But, the next week, DX again, they bring out Harvey Whippleman as Handsome Harvey instead of Ravishing Rick Rude. And again, it's typical heel heat. So with Baron Corbin coming out with, the big dog, like a mascot, that was heat. Everybody wanted to see Roman Reigns, the real Roman Reigns, going, beat up Baron Corbin, who I have to say, King Corbin right now, the hottest heel in wrestling. He really is. Him and MJF, but he's the hottest heel. I can't really say Chris Jericho's a heel. I know he's meant to be a heel, but he's still over. Like, he's still got his fans. Corbin has no fans. MJF has fans, but at the same time, it's like we know he's a heel. Okay? The fact is, you've got Baron Corbin in the ring, and he brings out this mascot. It's heat. Okay? He's making fun of Roman Reigns, being the big dog. Yeah, that's kind of a garbage, nickname or gimmick or whatever, but whatever. That's what he chose or what was chosen for him or whatever. So they're going with it. So they bring out this mascot. I loved it. I thought it was great. Classic heel heat. And that's all there is to it. Classic heel heat. So with that said, I back even in the territory days, they would do crap like that. Bring out guys dressed up as other guys, or bring out stuff like that. Jim Cornette once came out and said, if it comes out of a box, it's instantly over. Remember Chainsaw Charlie when he came out of the box with the, but it's like that's the kind of stuff that's good. It's heel heat, and nobody understands that nowadays. I think it's because there's a lack of heels, there's a lack of people, a lack of guys that actually want to be hated. MJF is in character 24/7 on his social media and everything. He is a typical heel. Baron Corbin, if you follow his social media, he's kind of a down-to-earth guy, and he's not really in character 100% of the time, but MJF is. MJF is. But, it's one of those things where we need to get heels back. We need to get, social media killed the wrestling business. Not only because the fans want to be bookers, but because and I made the comment, Alexa Bliss, who is, at least started as a heel in the WWE, she adopted I think it's a blind pig, Larry Steve, who's got his own Instagram and everything. But she posts this stuff on Instagram that shows her as such a good person, and I made the comment, or on Twitter, and I made the comment. I said, you're such a good person, and you have such a great heart, and you're a beautiful woman. It's really hard to hate you and to see you as a heel, and that's the truth. That's the truth. It's hard. So, it's like back in the day, back during, I mean, now granted, back in the territory time, before the territories were, early WrestleMania era, heels and baby faces wouldn't be able to travel together. Like that's why Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Iron Sheik got in so much trouble when they got pulled over together for drugs, because one was a heel, one was a face. Instead of it being convenience of going to the same place on the same flight, whatever, you couldn't do that. It was a big no-no. Now it just doesn't matter. Now it's more widely accepted that people are playing a character. It's entertainment. It's like a soap opera. I get that, but back during the Hulk Hogan era, when Hogan was big in the '80s, early '90s, you would never see heels go out to do like the Make-A-Wish or go to the hospitals with the sick kids, because they were despised. Nobody wanted to see them. The baby faces would go, Hulk Hogan would go, and up until John Cena broke it, Hulk Hogan was the most requested, and the biggest wish giver. But then when he turned NWO and turned heel, he stopped all that until people started requesting him when the NWO was over, and cool. But, it's like Chris Jericho, okay, when he was a heel, he refused to have any merchandise made for him, in the WWE. Instead of now, where he's a heel in AEW, but he still has merchandise, because anything he touches, he gets over. He got a list over by just saying, you just made the list. He made, he got the word it over. You know what I mean? Just by how he said it. He got the word the phrase a little bit of the bubbly over. Chris Jericho is, all in all, the greatest of all time when it comes to that kind of stuff. But back in the, early Jericho days in the WWE, WCW, whenever he was a heel, he refused to have them make merchandise for him because heels don't have merchandise. Nobody wants to buy heel merchandise. Heels don't want to have, the fans out there. Which, that's why a lot of people want to turn babyface so they can have the merchandise, you know what I mean? But, so, heel heat. That's the name of the game. MJF gets it. Corbin gets it. Today's fans don't get it. It's wrestlers like Jordynne Grace and Kenny Omega that keep pushing out, oh, this is performance art. We play characters. We get it. But you don't have to shove it down our throats and just disregard your field of work. You don't have to disregard that. You don't have to have people say, or you don't have to just throw it out there like, yeah, I play a heel on TV. I play, it's like, even with General Hospital, it's like, I know that Steve Burton is not a hitman for the mob. He plays it on TV, I get that. And that kind of brings me into why wrestling is always been treated differently than any other TV shows. I think we just look at wrestling because it's scripted. It's scripted reality TV before scripted reality TV became big. You know what I mean? Like when reality TV started becoming big with The Bachelor and American Idol and stuff like that was supposed to not be scripted, even though a lot of it is. Wrestling was always that stalwart. Like, you want to watch wrestling, you want to watch a match between Yokozuna and Bret Hart, or Yokozuna and Hulk Hogan, or Yokozuna and Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and in your mind you're like, this guy's a Japanese guy, he hates America, he wants to rid America of all of their heroes and stuff. When in reality, he's a Samoan guy. He's a really nice dude, and they're trying to make him lose weight because they care about his health. You know what I mean? So, with that said, it's like there needs to be more heels out there that actually, like you very rarely see the Revival post anything on social media, and if they do post it, they stay in character. That's heel heat. Could you imagine if Twitter was around during the Monday Night Wars? Could you imagine if Twitter was around during the Four Horsemen era? I mean, could you imagine if TMZ was around during the Horseman era? Good God. We'd have videos of Ric Flair going all over the place and the Horseman always drinking and getting drunk. You know what I mean? But thank God it wasn't. But that's the thing, in this day and age, you need heel heat. You know, real heel heat. And stick to your characters on social media. It's like, you know, anywho. All right, that's it for today. I just kind of had to get that off my chest. I hope you all have a great week. I'll be back tomorrow. Again, you can go ahead and subscribe and definitely leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and then anywhere else. 5-star review, leave us an actual review. Coming up next week, I've got a very special episode, which will probably be a longer one. I'm going to have an interview with a very special guest coming up in the next week, and I'm not going to release the name now, but if you follow me on Twitter, you might find out. So you can follow me on Twitter at @VApicella_SWE. Go ahead and follow the SportsWire on Twitter and Instagram at SportsWireAudio. Email me sportswireaudio@gmail.com. And then you can also visit our anchor.fm page, going to sportswireaudio.com. From there, you could donate to my No Shave November fundraiser, no-shave.org/member/Vinny81. All right, so for that, my name is Vinny Apicella. I will talk to you tomorrow right here on the Sports Wire.